So the biggest thing, if you are about to go into this industry and you're thinking about, the benefits, or you're thinking about school, you're obviously thinking about the financial freedom. You're going to have that financial freedom, absolutely. Yet, there's going to be a decision on how you maintain that financial freedom. And you can stay in this industry for as long as you want. I've seen people that, start from the time that they're legal to the time that they're, 50. I think the oldest woman I've ever seen dance is 50 or 60. By the way, she looks really good. But obviously that's not the goal. That's not the plan. So you have to decide, while you have this financial freedom, if you don't have kids, if you don't have any payments for anything besides your rent and your regular bills, you are pretty free if you know how to work the system, or the system, I guess, works for you. And so there's this decision of, on nights like tonight, personally for myself, where it's almost flipping a coin. You're always rolling the dice and always taking a bet on whether it's going to be a good night financially, which again is just a spiritual exchange and energy in itself, or if you're going to be spilling out the creativity, which both require spilling out your own energy from source. So it's really about deciding and balancing when you're spilling it out to create something moving forward, or, both are, but I think you kind of get where I'm going with that. There's a lot of great artists that, started their businesses from the nightlife, from, I think, a lot of art and a lot of creation in itself starts in the nightlife because it's in the darkness, which is where the source of all creation blossoms. So I painted yesterday for about probably 5 hours, if not more. It was beautiful to be in that trance because, you're in these other realms. When I was younger, I didn't really understand what, when I closed my eyes, I would just see a bunch of colors or a bunch of floating shapes or pictures. And I never realized that going forward, that's how I was going to be able to connect and create my artwork, by touching to other dimensions. But I never knew that that was a dimensional travel. I always just understood that, I'm just seeing things, but that's what it is. And you have to decide which dimension you're going to go down. For me, I don't even like to say it as work. I just create, because I don't ever feel like I'm actually working, which is really, really nice. Besides when I'm working out. So you just have to decide, what are you going to create and where are you going to pour your creativity out of? Because even when you're creating art and you're creating something that's really true and authentic to you and your story, you still have to outpour your energy. You're still losing an energy. You're just transferring it. So be wise about where you're creating and what you're creating. And sometimes when you're creating, it's not going to make sense what that creation is turning into, but it will always make sense. The nightlife in itself is a infinite world, and you just kind of got to figure out how to navigate through the dark. There's a lot of comfort in it, and there's a lot of discomfort in it, but there's also a lot of transformation all around. So just keep going. The goal is to break out of the loop and go out, graduate. So I hope that those who enjoyed this video, I hope you take it with you tonight or in the morning or whatever you see this. But as above, so below, as within.